I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Family, welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and I am here to talk to you guys about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Come on in, come on in, come on in. If you can hear the sound of my voice, let me know by putting your city, your state, your country, your island, your continent into the chat, please and thank you. Y'all are at the cookout, so come on in, come on in. And we are here to talk about episode 11 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I have a new moderator. I'm hoping that it works. I have a new moderator by the name of Ben. Let's see, BNL6. So BNL6 is a moderator. I think I've given this person their wings, but I don't see a wrench behind their name. Hopefully it works. We're trying something a little different over here, but everybody else, y'all come in, please, please, please. I'm trying to get myself up on the screen. Oh, I see the wrench now. Come on in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. See who we have in the house. We got Sherry. What's up, Sherry? All right, there's some people that's coming in to do their daily work for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Come on in, Lois. Okay, y'all, I have plenty of notes. We're gonna get to it, child. Y'all know what to do. Come on in, come on in. 103 of you are here, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. Make sure that you take the poll at the top of the chat, okay? Make sure you take the poll at the top of the chat. Now, the way the episode ended last week, we saw Tisha like basically sit on the couch after Kimmy and Nell Fletcher apologized to each other. Tisha looked over at them and said, it'll be a cold day in hell before I apologize to Nell Fletcher. She said, I'm never going to do it. Okay. She looked completely dismayed. I kid you not. Her eyes like shifted. Little did we know that Tisha had a plan. Tisha had a plan. Okay. What is up, Journey? To the root. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. So yeah, little did we know that Tisha had a plan, baby, but she did. Okay. So it opens, actually, this is how the scene opens for this episode. We are at Latricia Rita's house, okay? She is want everybody to know what her last name is, child. She's tired of people calling her Marquez's ex-wife, I guess. Little did we know. But she is at home, and then Tisha comes over to visit. But first, we hear a knocking at the door. And then when Trisha goes to open it, you can hear the sensor from her house alarm is on clearly. So you hear the sensor, and I'm like, Trisha is definitely still trying to let us know that she did not appreciate Marquez walking into her house. This time, because she looked at production and said, can he just walk in here? This time she said, bitch, if they don't knock at the door, they won't get in. I don't care if I do know they're filming, okay? Come on in, come on in. Nice to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Kimber is in the house. Y'all say hello to Miss Kimber. She's also a wrench holder. Nell didn't realize that she would be next in their line of fire. They have groomed Kimmy to stand with the Scotts, so Nell is an outsider. Nell is grown as fuck, though. The one thing about Nell is she ain't backing down from nobody. She's on top of it, okay? She don't care. She is on top of it, so I'm not even mad. Nell is here to play. Nell is here to play, okay? Come on in, come on in. But yeah, so she is up there. Let Miss Tisha comes in, and the ladies end up catching up. Tisha's asking Trisha questions about her and Ken, and she said, "Yeah, you know, we've been having a lot of fights and everything, but you know, we're getting better." She basically says that she realized with going to therapy that she has a very short fuse, and anybody can get it. She said it does not matter, family, friends, general population, people at work, whatever it is. She said the smallest thing can push her over the edge. Okay. And she tells Tisha that she's had one session over there with Dr. Francis and that she has no choice but to get better for herself and her children. That's when Tisha's like, she's happy to hear that. And she talked about therapy in the Black community. She invites Trisha to Bessemer to try her mama's potatoes. And Trisha said no, that her and her son, okay, are going to be in Miami for the birthday party. Now, I do remember the birthday party. I do remember that birthday party. And what I thought they had said last time is that Ken still wasn't living there. He was out of the house, but that her son wanted him to come to Florida. So he ended up flying in separately to be a part of the festivities for the son. I think he had just turned 18. Anyway, Tisha said, enough about you, bitch. Let's talk about me and what happened at that games night. Okay, what happened at games night. And she said, listen, she said, I can't believe how Nell was just yelling at me and going crazy. And, you know, even Kimmy had to come after her, you know, with all the fussing and the yelling. And she's looking for a little backup, and Trish gives it to her. Trish said, yeah, I think you handled yourself great. I think you handled yourself great, because if the shoe was on the other foot, okay, the way my fuse is short, she said it would have been a whole different story between her and Nell Fletcher, okay? She said, I already got a short fuse, so Nell wouldn't like me when I'm angry, okay, like the Incredible Hulk. Nell would not like me when I'm angry. Tisha said that it was actually Nell who was raising her voice first, and she has a problem with it. 161 of you are in the chat. Hit my like button, please, and thank you. I got some questions for y'all, but hit the like button, hit the like button. Trisha ends up saying that it felt like Nell was trying to save her own ass. She said she was doing way too much, and we've already had these conversations. So why in the world would she have come as hard at you about all of this if she didn't already tell the secret? Tisha throws her hands up and said, thank you. How would I know? How would I know if she didn't tell me about it? And then we get the flashback yet again. Now, I told y'all in a video a few days ago that Kimmy was on Carlos King's channel, and she had made the comment, listen, Nell Fletcher had yelled at us a couple of times before I actually popped off. But that's still not the way they are showing anything in these clips. I mean, the clips are seamless too, but when they're showing it, we see Nell Fletcher sitting at the table with Tisha, Kimmy, and Trisha. Destiny wasn't there, but when the conversation is being had about why she had to go back to Alabama early, leaving LA early, that's where they filmed the reunion, she said, yeah, I got to leave early because I got a baby on the way. She said, he just got the call. I got a baby on the way. We got a grandbaby on the way. So if it wasn't Lance, who was it? Because they all reacted by saying, ooh, I heard about that, right? So if it was another son like Chris Jr., and they were like, ooh, we heard about that, I would say, well, what did you hear? Because that reaction isn't, you know, It doesn't match. It doesn't match Chris Jr. having a baby. There are a lot of people in my comments saying she was talking about Chris Jr. She was absolutely talking about Lance. When they discussed how those rumors were out there on the internet, the rumors were about Lance, not about Chris. So that wasn't how it worked. Come on in. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button and share the video. 182 of you are here. Anyway, Trisha basically said she was trying to save her own ass. That was apparent. Okay. What's up, Erica? Nice to have you. She said that was apparent and she had already told the secret. Tisha said, at the end of the day, Nell's not my friend. I'm not claiming her or anything that has to do with her. In fact, I don't want to be associated with her in any way, shape, or form. We're not friends, okay? Don't ever get it twisted. As of right now, the bitch is dead to me, okay? Trisha then says that Nell needs therapy, okay? And that's how we know that Trisha is on the right track because, after one session, she's already advocating for Nell Fletcher's mental health. So there you have it. That happens sometime, okay? Why bring it up at the party? Well, this is the thing. I don't think that she was bringing it up at the party. I think the question was, why does Nell Fletcher have an attitude with her? What happened that would have created her to tell Tisha to keep my name out her mother effing mouth? That was the problem. And what happened after that is Nell gaslighted her. Now, that's a real thing. I don't like for people to tell me that I didn't see what I saw. I didn't hear what I heard. I don't know what I know. When you do that to me, you are playing with my mind and I don't like it. And I think a lot of people feel that way. But when she's sitting there, it could have been Nell Fletcher who genuinely forgot that she told Tisha that story, but she did tell it. And production's not playing any games by continuing to show us that clip. We already saw it last week. There was no reason to show it again this week, but they're showing it to put it out there that it was Nell Fletcher who shared the story. Now, from what everything that people have been saying from behind the scenes, Kimmy and the like, they basically said that whatever was going down with Lance and this girl, Lance was the one who was really impressing. Listen, don't ask my mom any questions, blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? And she said, we don't have any intention of doing that. We just want to get to the root of why her and Tisha or she has this hostility toward Tisha. And I'm not even trying to take up for Tisha, you know what I'm saying? For real. I just think that Nell forgot and it turned into something else. Come on in, welcome. But Destiny is the bone character for sure. The bone character, she's the bone carrier. Destiny is the bone carrier. Okay, so anyway, while all that is going on, child, we also got the Fletchers talking about it. The Fletchers are at home and Nell is rehashing everything that went down between her, Tisha, and Kimmy, and really the whole group. Nell said that she started the conversation very calmly. She said, I'm really not sure when the shit went left, but I believe that I was speaking calm when I was talking to the girls. I was measured, I processed, I thought about it. And that's how it came across to us. We all thought you looked like you were calm. I watched it a couple of times. I said, she's not even getting to the octaves that she does just in normal speaking. She's literally like, what's up? I'm having a normal conversation. And she said that it was Kimmy who jumped at her. She said, Kimmy said it was me, but it was actually Kimmy who yelled at me first. Then Destiny jumped in it, and then Trish jumped in it. Before I knew it, everybody's telling me that I need to, lower my damn ringtone when it was them that was doing all the fussing and the yelling. That's how it looked to us too. Now, even though Kimmy said there were other scenes that got cut out, based on what we saw in the television world, that's how it went down. Exactly how Nell replayed it with her husband. Fletcher looks at his wife and says, so it was 4 of them against you? Two of them had the gas and the other two had lighters. And Nell Fletcher says, sure enough, did. That's exactly how it went down. Okay. Anyway, Nell said, even though me and Kimmy appear to have squashed the beef, because y'all know Kimmy and her apologized to each other, she said that her and Tisha are still on the outs. They haven't said one word to each other, and she don't see it getting any better anytime soon. She said at the end of the day, these hoes got to know to keep their name off my grandbaby, okay? Keep my grandbaby out of their mouths. It should not be that hard. That's how Nell Fletcher plays it. It shouldn't be that hard. Keep my grandbaby out your mouth. 257 of you are here. Please hit the like button and share the video. Please and thank you. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Okay, anyway, now we are at Trisha's therapy, okay? That's how the scene ends between Chris and Nell Fletcher. She doesn't think that she can be cool with anybody because all them girls seem to be, you know, a little cuckoo when it comes to that bullshit. So she don't like it, okay? So anyway, we are at the therapy session with Dr. Francis, and Trisha's son, her oldest son, drops her off to her second session. When she gets there, she tells Dr. Francis that she actually went to visit her parents' graves. And she said, I also cried when I was at the gravesite, which, you know, that elates Dr. Francis. He's like, you have no idea how valuable that information is. Okay. He said that he wants to validate her and he wants her to know that he's validating her because with that one session, she's shown a lot of growth. Everything that he had, you know, she had told him about how she can't go visit their graves. He said that shows a lot of growth. Okay. So she was pretty proud of herself. And he said, well, since we talked about the family that, you know, that's gone away, we're going to talk about the family that's here right now. And he asked her about her children. He said, how many kids do you have? And she said 2, a boy and a girl. And then they talked about her marriage because she said, I'm separated. And, you know, he's been in Atlanta for a couple of years. Dr. Francis said, interesting. You do know that you're still connected to him, right? Just based on the shit that you told me last week, you're still connected to him. Trisha tries to deny it, like, well, I don't see how. He hasn't been here. He has no relationship with me or the kids. And then she brings up that she has a new boyfriend that lives with her. And Dr. Francis said, what? Now he's drawing on like a whiteboard. He's drawing on the whiteboard with all these different colored markers child. But he's like, here's Trisha, here's Trisha's heart. And then he's like, has an X for where Marquez is. He got like a circle for where Trisha's kids are. And then when she said, well, there's also Kenny, he had to put a whole new damn circle on the board for Ken. And he's like, so now you got Ken over here and you still haven't tied up the loose ends with your ex-husband, because that's really what this is about. You already told me last week that your ex-husband was supposed to be your rock and the person that helped you through this grief that you're feeling. But now you're saying you're still dealing with it. You're still angry as fuck. And you got a new boyfriend and he lives in the house. And he was like, child, like you can tell Dr. Francis, if people believe that therapists don't make facial reactions, not Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis loves to give you a good old bitch what when he is talking to you. But he looks at Trisha's confused as shit and he starts circling where Ken is supposed to be. And he said, well, how does this fit in with this? So he starts circling where the kids are supposed to be. And Trisha goes, oh, well, you know, he loves the kids and the kids really love him too. But she's saying it in a way that makes it seem like she's hesitant about something. And so he's like, well, what else? Like, you know, what's going on? She said, well, listen, when he first got there, he was amazing. He was doing shit with the kids that I wasn't even doing. He was showing up to the games. He was dropping them off to practice. He was doing this, that, and the other. I said, bitch, not you and Marquez feeling the exact same way about Ken and feeling like you got to flee. Now, we remember Marquez saying with his own fucking mouth, okay, I was afraid to go over there because when I went, this motherfucker was taking my kids to the dance. He was at the games. After a while, I was just like, well, shit, I'm out. I'm leaving the state. I can't even stay around no more. Well, Trisha said pretty much the exact same shit, which made me laugh. But then she said, my kids like latched onto Ken so quickly, calling him, asking him questions. Even my son, who doesn't talk, he used to only talk to me. He would make a point of calling Ken to get his advice about certain shit. And she said that the whole thing was just, it made her jealous. It made her jealous of her children's relationship with their dad. Dad, walk it back, boop, boop, boop. Her kids' relationship with Ken. So Dr. Francis makes another face like, Trisha, what? Why would you be jealous of this man that you brought into your house, his relationship with your kids? And she said, I don't know. And he said, let me tell you something. And that's when he's about to drop all kinds of hell on Trisha. But he said, you have already admitted that you are angry as fuck, and anybody can get it. And I told y'all this last week. If Trisha pops off at the men, she was popping off at her kids too. She can't control that shit. That's just what it is. But when that man walked into that house and he became the buffer, because that's what happened. He became the buffer between her and the kids, okay? And all of a sudden, according to Dr. Francis, the PhD, he said, baby, listen, that man was a breath of fresh air to them damn kids, okay? He was a breath of fresh air to the kids, and he 1000% your kids needed that interference, okay? The daddy ain't there. He left. He said that your energy, your anger, whatever was going on with you was way too much. And I said this too before anybody tries to say I backtrack. I said this. If a grown fucking man who calls himself the father knew that that woman was not in a good place mentally, emotionally, physically, eventually, because popping off when you're angry means that you're going to get physical sometimes. But I said, if the father, the one who is obligated to take care of his kids, ran because he said he couldn't take it anymore without giving a second thought to how those kids were going to handle their mama's grief, it said all I needed to hear. That's why I don't really give Marquez as much as everybody else do, because I really think that he abandoned his children. And I don't give a shit if he called them every once in a while, not enough so that another man could come in and fill his shoes, period. That's my opinion. Y'all can hash it out. Okay, but she ends up telling pretty much a similar story to Marquez. And Dr. Francis said, listen, that was some kids' lifeline. At the end of the day, they needed a break from you and your crazy ass. And then he compared her to a pistachio. He said, have you ever heard that you like nuts? She said, no, I don't like nuts. He went, well, you might have to like a nut for today, okay? And he said, when you look at a bag of pistachios, when you look at a bag of pistachios and you see that there's a little crack in it to open it up and take the nut out, he said every one of the pistachios are different. Each one has a crack that might be a little wider or more closed off or sealed completely and never opens up. And he said, that's you, bitch. You're the nut that's sealed completely and never opened up. Okay. And when you invited this man into your life, that will be Ken, he recognized that and he decided to overcompensate in order to get into your fucking heart by showing you that he cared for your children. And you decided to get mad at that and be jealous about that. And that's not the way to go. And if you do not deal with your trauma, this is Dr. Francis, not me, okay? But he basically said, if you don't deal with your trauma, Trisha, then you're going to be a closed nut to everybody you meet, okay? This man might be here today, but gone tomorrow, okay? That's what I took from Dr. Francis, but it was also along a lot of the same lines that I said in my last review when we talked about Trisha at that damn therapy session. But that's how he ended it. Trisha was crying, so it did touch her a little bit. We only saw a little piece, not everything, but I did like that session. I did like it. All right, moving on. Now we are dealing with hold on. All right, y'all, sorry about that. Now we are moving on to Tisha, Destiny, and Kimmy. They have, Tisha's rented a driver. He's driving a Mercedes Sprinter, and they're going to take them from Huntsville to Bessemer to visit her mama, okay? 348 of you are here. Please hit the like button and share the video. Please and thank you. This was one of the best conversations on this episode, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Because the way Destiny was giving it all away, the way them ladies was talking, and Destiny was bucking her eyes and moving around in her seat and trying to adjust her clothes because she wasn't able to lie the lie they wanted her to lie, okay? Hit the like button, share the video, take the poll at the top of the chat. I saw you, Destiny, child. This might be the reason why you and Tisha aren't good right now, child. But let's get into it. Hold on, let me get my other screen up. Let's get into it. Listen. They're on the Sprinter. And all three of them are on there. And Tisha warns Kimmy right off the bat. She said, mind your P's and Q's when it comes to my mama. We're about to go to Bessemer to see Wanda in this food truck. But you, Kimmy, and she giggles a little bit, but she said it. So it's not, listen, she wasn't trying to make a joke. Mind your P's and Q's when it comes to my mama. That's what Tisha tells her immediately. When she says it, Destiny looks off to the side. She got a smirk on her face. I'm like, look at Destiny. Destiny really is the bone carrier. Destiny is putting everybody's business out there. Okay. Kimmy said, where's Nell Fletcher? Where's Trisha? I think that was Destiny, actually. And Tisha said, Trisha can't come. However, I'm not inviting Nell Fletcher to shit, okay? I don't care about no Nell Fletcher. What's the biggie? She knows better to come to my event. Kimmy starts laughing and said, listen, I told Nell's little ass to calm down 3 times before I flipped out on her and told her I was going to dunk her ass in that pool. But y'all heard it. Destiny said, yep, you did. You did. Kimmy starts, getting up and showing how Trisha had came over and said, Nell, just calm down. Just calm down. She said, we all try to get her there. I could only give so much. So Kimmy's letting everybody know. I might have said, I'm sorry to Nell, but at the end of the day, she still pushed my fucking button. Okay. I have a trigger and she pushed it, period. Okay. Come on in. Welcome. I appreciate y'all. Tisha said, listen, even I asked her to calm down, but she said, that's cool. What I've since learned is I'm not going to fight Nell Fletcher. That woman's old enough to be my damn mama, okay? And where I am concerned, I'm going to stay in a child's place. That's how she refers to herself, as a child. Teacher said, I'm going to stay in a child's place. And I'm not dealing with anybody that's old enough to be my mama. Now, point blank, period, Kimmy, she got offended. I know that they're all around the same age, I do believe, if I am not mistaken, and they all look good, period. However, Kimmy's looking at Tisha like, bitch, what? Okay, what do you mean you're going to stay in a child's place? I've seen you buck off on plenty of people, not to mention the fact that you point blank asked me to either be on your team, whether you right or wrong. Okay, remember that conversation? You on my team, whether you are right or you are wrong. I do not play this game, period, Kimmy. But Kimmy is looking over there like, bitch, what's with the ageism jokes? Okay, she's not playing. She is not playing. But yeah. Destiny says, oh, excuse me, let's roll it back. Destiny smirks when she makes this comment. Destiny is smirking throughout the entire thing. I don't know if people were paying attention. But Destiny says, listen, I think both you and Nell have said things about each other's husbands. You have. I've heard it, okay? And Tisha said, no, that's not how this shit started. It started because Chris Fletcher decided he was going to make a fucking joke about Marceau and Maurice. And when she says that, she's throwing Kimmy back in the bunch. Bitch, we a team. We on each other's side. She made this joke about Marceau and Maurice. And in 2025, everybody can get it because I am tired. I don't want to hear that shit no more. It is not funny to me. Again, Destiny does this. And she's smirking. She never takes the smirk off her face. When she does it this time, Kimmy's looking dead at her, like she almost bent down into dip into her face. Like, Destiny, what are you doing? And right here, after Kimmy catches the look and Kimmy looks down, Kimmy ends up saying, basically, you need to pick a fucking side. This is the conversation Kimmy sounds like she's having, okay? She tells Destiny, what are you going to say now? Huh? And it is very much giving to me, pick a side, because you're either over here or you're over there. You can't be in the middle, bitch. Again, Destiny is bucking her eyes. Like, I mean, and I'm not even joking. She makes a face like Tisha called her a few minutes before they got on the bus to complain about Marceau dipping his paintbrush into somebody else's pot, okay? That's how she looked in the scene. She's not talking to anybody. She's just making faces like, Lord have mercy, okay? Anyway, it just reminded me that last season, Marceau had a conversation with Tisha where he says to Tisha, listen, I'm not so sure that Martell and Destiny didn't fuck. Okay, that's number one. Martell likes to make way too many jokes about being in Destiny's undies, and now saying that he's Destiny's baby's father is way too much for me. Y'all remember Marceau literally rolling it thick, letting Tisha know. And then he ended it with, you might want to reconsider your relationship with Destiny. If you remember, put a 1 in the chat right now. If you remember that conversation Marceau had with Letitia, his wife, when she came home saying, I don't know about Destiny. Destiny was giving me a little, fugazi vibe, like she wasn't on my team. And he said, yeah, maybe she ain't. And you need to stop being her friend, not to mention the fact she run around here trying to imply that I'm out here sleeping with somebody. When Martell is point blank feeding into the rumor about her and him sleeping together. He wasn't lying. But when Destiny is on this bus, this is all I'm thinking about. I said, bitch, when Marceau sees this episode, you're toast. You already can't go up to Black anymore. You already can't go up to the bar anymore unless it's some sort of event for the cast, okay? Otherwise, you ain't allowed, girl. Okay, come on in. Anyway, that's what it was given. Like she was trying to put herself between Martell and Tisha and Marceau. All right, let's get to it. I'm going to ask y'all another question. First, I want to say this. Destiny, in her confessional, she ends up saying that she is always in the middle of the girls and everybody in the group. And she's right now, she's tired of it. She's tired of it. She's tired of being in the middle of them. And just like that, right after saying that in confessional, Destiny puts herself in the middle of the shit again by saying, Tisha, what Nell actually said, one of the other things, because she thought she told her everything, but she said one of the other things Nell said is that instead of worrying about her business, you should be more worried about that lady who looked like she had that nasty woman's disease that Mr.'s father talked about in The Color Purple. Yeah, that one. She said you should be more worried about that than you are anything that has to do with her business. And that's when Tisha stands up on Destiny, stood the fuck up on Destiny and said, does it look like I have something to be worried about? Does it? Does it look like I have something to be worried about? And Destiny said, yes. Destiny wanted to anyway. Yes, it does seem like you have something to be worried about, okay? Listen, everybody saw that video. You got to talk about it, Heifer. It was up there. Tisha said, I'm not doing it. Production said, bring that shit up. You in the middle of it again, okay? Bring it up. Bring it up. And she did. Okay. Bottom line, Destiny smirked like, yes, you do have something to worry about. And then they end up talking about, Destiny said, let's move on from this conversation, bitch. You're going to make me say some shit that I don't even want to say. Can we talk about anything other than your hoeing ass husband? Both of y'all, both of you, let me off the hook. Okay. Destiny is producing this season, or she's been given instruction to carry the bone. I told you last week, Destiny carrying the bone. Okay. Good for Destiny. I mean, listen, this is what TV's about, child. I don't know. I really don't. But I can say Destiny is carrying the fucking bone this season for sure. For sure. Anyway, after that, Destiny said, I need to get off this subject. I don't want to talk about your hoeing ass husband, yours or Kimmy's, because Destiny was making eyes to everything and everybody. She was telling the camera, and the camera would zoom in on her. She was telling the camera every 5 seconds. Okay. She could not take it. Anyway, she ends up talking about what's going on in her boring ass life. Destiny said, listen, I ain't officially dated Twan yet, but we getting there. You know what I'm saying? He's going to train me on how to box because I'm a part of this new movie. She got some independent movie thing going on. And she said, yeah, so that's what he's going to be doing for now. And, you know, one thing leads to another. It will. Bye. Okay. Anyway, that's how it happened. And now I'm going to ask y'all a question because we are about to get into another part of Tisha, Kimmy, and Destiny. But first, I need everybody to hit the like button if y'all remember how things actually started between Nell Fletcher and Tisha. I know that there was that little party. I forgot whose birthday party it was. Was it Nell Fletcher's birthday party where Nell said something about being Tisha's mentor? But did this start when it was Tisha asking Nell Fletcher about her marriage? That's how I remember it. But I could be wrong because I didn't go back to look. I remember Nell Fletcher had dinner or some sort of lunch with Tisha and Marceau. She had just had a conversation with Melody where she said, Marceau and Tisha like to act like they don't fucking know me when me and Fletch are over there at that bar all the time. I remember her having that conversation. We're at the bar all the time. And then she was basically saying, I'm unsure why they're acting like they don't know me or we don't hang out or know each other in this community because that's bullshit. She also implied that Tisha likes to sneak ask questions about cheating and marriage, which is why she said, I called you my mentee. Okay, I was saying I was your mentor because of that, because everybody does that. They always use me and Fletch for that. She ends up backing it off But hit the like button, hit the like button. Correct. Okay, that's how I remember it. I remember this. They were at the lunch, and that's how the conversation started. And Nell Fletcher laughed at the shit and said, "Bitch, I know what you're doing. It's not a big deal." But the way Keisha keeps making it seem like it's a one-sided thing, that was one of the situations that happened. The other situation that happened is that Marceau wanted Chris Fletcher to lie and say that they were in Atlanta with each other. Correct. It was a meeting before the Black Expo. He wanted Chris Fletcher to lie, and Chris said, "I'm not doing it. We met up for maybe 30 minutes tops. That's it." And then he took his ass wherever he was going, and me and my wife went to New York. And I think Nell Fletcher confirmed. I was at the hotel. I was waiting for him to bring my food back from the fish market in Atlanta. And everybody knows you got to eat that damn fish when it's hot. Okay. But that was a story. And because Chris Fletcher did not give Marceau an alibi, I think everything went wacky. That's where I think things went wacky. But y'all hit my like button and let me know that y'all remember that shit. Teacher asked him about overcoming infidelity. Then Nell's party, the NDA, and Nell noted that Marceau lied about being with Chris in Atlanta. Okay. I feel like maybe if Tisha wouldn't have brought up that shit, that she would have been fine. I think so. I don't know. But I feel like Tisha, anyway, we'll get to it. Because y'all see it. I agree with Nell. You're not transparent. There's going to be a whole thing that happens, okay? All right, but before we get to that scene, we're going to talk about Ken and Trisha. Ken and Trisha end up going out for lunch. This is the first time they've been out without the kids. And Ken says in his confessional that him and Trisha were still going through it. However, he's going to stick it out because he wants to help her. He loves her. He tells Trisha that he's proud of her for going to therapy. And he said, now that you've had a couple of sessions under your belt, how is it going? And that's when Trisha said, when she was at therapy, it uncovered for her that she was jealous of Ken's relationship with her children, in particular, Xavier, because she said things that he would normally talk to her about. Ken ended up taking over those moments, and she said it hurt her feelings. She said she felt squeezed out and she felt like you were taking my kids from me. I had already lost my parents and my sister. You know, Marquez is out the door. It felt like another fucking loss for me. So she tells him that, and Ken basically said, listen, we got to figure this out. I would never do that. I don't know why you would think that. And then he says, I apologize to you for how I talked to you. In the past, I said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it and saying it again, okay? He did all the right things. I'm going to keep saying it. I'll say it again. But Trisha has some deep-seated issues. Very deep, okay? But that's how that plays out. All right, now we're here, child. Before we get started, I need everybody to keep hitting the like button, share the video. In fact, hit the like button for me. Hit the like button for me. If you saw Tisha put a battery in her mama's back, if you saw Tisha put a battery in her mama's back when she showed up at that damn food truck, put a 1 in the chat right now. Right now. No, put a 1, hit my like button. Don't put a 1 in the chat. Hit my like button. There's Wanda right there, child. Here is Wanda right here. And y'all see it. They're getting that battery in. Wanda got her hand up. Look at them go, okay? Yes. Look, hi, I'm Miss Wanda, bitch. The way Tisha pulled up and didn't, all gas, no brakes. Tisha did not take her foot off the pedal. Tisha got off that bus and said, bitch, let's go. Okay, let's go. Hi, mama. Give me a hug, mama. It's like, What are we watching? Tisha said, baby, I got work for you to do, okay? She definitely put a damn battery in Wanda's back. Anyway, they pull up to this food truck. They have a little bit of small talk. Kimmy said that she wants a steak potato and she wants it medium. Don't cook her steak to the point of where it tastes like a belt. Wanda made some jokes about how they do things in Bessemer. She said, I don't give a damn. I'm not eating that potato. I'm not eating that potato on camera if you overcook my steak. Okay. And I don't think I saw Kimmy pick up her fork. In confessional, production asked Kimmy if she was happy about Wanda and the truck and if things were better between their relationship. And Kimmy said, listen, I'm real happy that Wanda got that food truck up, but that's where it stops. That's where it starts and stops. I don't fool with Wanda. I don't give two fucks about Wanda. I'm here to get my paycheck, but believe you me, if this wasn't a situation where a paycheck was being offered, I wouldn't see Wanda for free. That's it. Okay, come on in. They did what they were supposed to do. I agree. They brought the interview up. This is exactly what was supposed to happen. Okay. Did you notice how Destiny and Kimmy played around in their food? They all did. I told you. Only person whose mouth was full was Tisha's. Anyway, let's get to it. After Tisha is sitting down at this table, like I said, that's when she springs into action immediately. They said something about Grace, and then Tisha looked at her mama and said, did I tell you about the incident I had with Nell? And Wanda said, who? She said, Nell. Didn't I tell you about the incident with Nell? Nell who? And now Kimmy and Destiny are like, especially Destiny. Destiny's like, this bitch. And I'm not kidding you. Destiny was coming to life. I don't know if you were acting, Destiny. I don't know if this was your thespian chops, but baby, when I tell you, every one of your face expressions was priceless in this scene. The second Tisha started talking, Destiny went, and she smirked. She gives Tisha a long stare like, this is exactly what people be talking about when they say you try to activate your fucking mama. This is it. And Tisha didn't look at Destiny. She didn't give a shit. I'm here for one reason and one reason only. Okay? All is fair in love and war. That bitch came for me. I'm coming for her. I already told y'all it'll be a cold day in hell before I apologize to Nell Fletcher. Okay? Now, while she's doing it, that's when Kimmy is raking around in her potato with her fork like, oh, Lord, I thought we was going to have a nice, boring ass meal. I didn't expect all this, but Destiny did give. Anyway, after Tisha said that, she said, Nell Fletcher, okay? Destiny shakes her head because y'all know Nell Fletcher's supposed to be Destiny's other mama, okay? Tisha said, listen, Nell has been coming for me and coming for me. And I haven't really popped off the way I want to with her because she's a fucking elder, okay? She's an elder. And I can't mess with this lady and risk getting my ass locked up and going to jail, okay? You can, but I can't. So Tisha said she wants to make sure that her mama know. Listen, if you could just put your hands on it real quick, if anybody calls the popos on you, that's fine. But Tisha started quoting the Bible. She said, listen, I respect my elders. And what does it say in the Bible? Respect your elders so your days won't be cut short by a stint in the pen. Okay, basically, my time won't be cut short if I have to put hands on her and go to jail. You though, mama, go on ahead, because we know you are a firecracker. Okay, so you're gonna do what you're gonna do. Anyway, Kimmy starts to look at Tisha also like this bitch here. Okay. In fact, Kimmy is pissed because she's getting hit with all kinds of attacks. You know what I'm saying? Subliminal attacks. Tisha's sitting here calling Nell Fletcher old and that she's an elder and she could be her mama. And the entire time, Kimmy is making faces like, Mm. Okay, yes, the hit, it hit you too, Kimmy. It hit you too. Now, Wanda said some shit like y'all just a few years, between each other. But Tisha's definitely trying to pop anybody that she said is older, period. Okay, come on in, come on in. But she said, I ain't fucking with that. I'm not doing it no more. That's when Wanda said, baby, you ain't said nothing but a word, okay? That's fine. When am I coming to Huntsville? When can I come to Huntsville? I didn't know if she was screaming at production or Tisha at first, because I was like, well, damn, who's she asking about Huntsville? Anyway, both Kimmy and Destiny say in their confessionals that Tisha is going down the wrong road with this one and is absolute bullshit, that Tisha will put her mama in a situation when she just now getting back on the show good. This is what, her second episode. Wasn't she kicked off the show already? Why would you put your mama in this situation? Tisha must really want a little bit of Nell Fletcher, okay? But she's sitting there having that conversation. Wanda says, cool, I'll be back there. I'll take care of it. She said, who the fuck does Nell think she is telling my daughter to keep her name out of her mother effing mouth? Kimmy said, well, she didn't say that to Tisha. She said it to Destiny. She said that to Destiny, okay? And Destiny told it to Tisha. Now, I'm not going to lie. This is giving me the impression that Kimmy is saying, hell, we don't know. Destiny could have fucking lied or put a little heat where no heat would belong. You know what I'm saying? But she definitely said Destiny is the one who told the story. And Tisha's mama said, bitch, so you the bone carrier? Destiny said, I'm not a bone carrier. She said, you told it, right? So you the bone carrier. And y'all know, again, Wanda don't like for people to be bringing Tisha bad news. Don't nobody bring Tisha no bad news, okay? She don't like that. Don't do it. She wants her daughter to be happy all the fucking time. So she's sitting here looking at Destiny like, bitch, I don't know if I can trust you as far as I can throw you. And she said that a couple of times too, okay? But she said it. Now, I told y'all Destiny was a bone carrier last week. But anyway, Kimmy said, Tisha basically repeats, yeah, she did. Well, she still told me to keep her name out my mother effing mouth. And Kimmy shakes her head and goes, Tisha, you could have left that out. You did not have to bring that shit up here. Tisha looks at Kimmy like she is a ghost. I don't care what you think. This is my fucking mama. I'm going to say whatever I need to say to get this ball rolling, because you had your opportunity, bitch. And what you did was fall back into that chair and forgot you said what you said. So you look dumb. Okay. But I'm going to have to bring Wanda in here to finish things up. This is how Tisha is giving the look to Kimmy. Kimmy wants her to pull back. Tisha said, I'm not pulling back. And I don't care if both of y'all know what I'm doing or think away. I don't care. I got a mama, and this is how I'm going to play it with my mama. Okay? Anyway, after all that is done, that's when Wanda malfunctions on both Kimmy and Tisha. I don't know if anybody called Wanda and told her, bitch, this is what we're going to be discussing. But I do know that as quick as Wanda said, I'll be down there. Okay? You have nothing to worry about. If this is what she's saying about my daughter, I'm going to make sure she knows to keep my daughter's name and her husband out of her fucking mouth. That's how we're going to play it. Mama to mama. Okay? She don't want anybody talking about her granddaughter, and I don't want anybody to talk about my daughter. But just as quick as it came out of her mouth, Wanda malfunctioned, y'all. She malfunctioned. Wanda started shaking. She started shaking and coming for Kimmy, and lightweight coming for Tisha too, because bitch, it was both of their husbands that was being blamed. Okay. But Wanda said, Kimmy, I know you heard the news, bitch. about that woman with the nasty woman's disease that went on Martell and Ariane's YouTube platform and said that she was sleeping with your man. Now, she didn't say Marceau's, she didn't say Tisha's man, but Tisha had to feel the pain because Tisha was making faces now. Tisha stood there frozen like, what happened? What happened, baby, is you got the wrong factory, okay? Whatever battery you put in your back only lasted a few seconds before your mama turned on both of y'all and literally said, I need to know what you had to say about Maurice and Marceau playing the trombone on that nasty bitch. Okay? I heard she had one in her mouth and one in her wazoo. Okay? Wanda did not hold back. She had one in her mouth and one up her wazoo. Kimmy, what do you have to say about that? And Kimmy was like, looking at Tisha like, you see what the you just activated? And Tisha was like, Mom, why would you say that? She said, that's what was said out. That was what was said on the internet. That was said on the internet. Shit, I'm saying the same thing. Stop acting like your ears don't work, bitch. Your ears work. Both of y'all, both of your ears work. You know what that nasty ass lady said about your husbands. Now I'm asking you, Kimmy. Tisha tried to interrupt. Wanda turned to the side, looked Tisha in the eye, and said, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I'm talking to her. You don't want me to have this conversation about Marceau, right? Then let me have it with Kimmy and you catch it. You catch it from the back end. Oh my God. Oh, I cried. I cried the whole time. Kimmy is making faces. Destiny doesn't know where to be, child. I almost felt like she wanted to run into traffic. Everybody was so uncomfortable except for Wanda, who had her head in her hand like, and what happened? And did you talk to him about it? Yes, I talked to him about it. And what'd he say? Kimmy said, we don't believe it. You don't. Because, okay, if it looked like a duck, it quacked like a duck, bitch, it's a duck. Y'all got to stop playing these games where y'all hear these nasty bitches come out and talk about y'all husband and not question these women. Okay? Wanda started giving a whole speech. Kimmy said, I saw the lady. I saw her, and I don't believe it. And then she did what Tisha did on the bus. Bitch, have you seen me? Okay, Kimmy stands up on Wanda and said, look at this. What? I don't believe that Maurice would fuck that child. And that's the problem right there. Okay? Just because that woman didn't fit your standard of beauty doesn't mean that he can't get his rocks off. Okay? Have we learned nothing in the centuries? Okay? Have we learned nothing? I remember there was an episode of The Sopranos. Y'all remember Carmelo and Tony Soprano? And Tony used to sleep with everybody. And then one day he had an affair with a woman who had one leg. And Carmela found out. She said, bitch, I used to say they're prettier than me, they're younger than me, whatever the case, but one fucking leg, that's what I'm competing with. And she flipped, okay? And I said, baby, that's a word. That's a word. But Wanda sat there and said just that. At the end of the fucking day, these are the stories that are out here about your husbands. And I don't know what's wrong with y'all young women, because now she's throwing her daughter in the mix. I don't know what's wrong with y'all young women, but if y'all don't start following up on some of this shit so you can know what these men are saying, because I don't trust him as far as I can see him. And she basically said, if Maurice didn't feel like he had an answer for you, then he did it. If he didn't give you an answer that said, I didn't do it, then you looking at a TV screen or that computer screen and making a decision all on your own isn't an answer. It isn't an answer. And I don't like it. And I don't like that he left you out here looking dumb. Okay. Because that's what real grown-ups will do. You got that man out here making you fucking look dumb. And I'm telling you, you look dumb, and you're going to have to figure this shit out. And Tisha said, Mom, if we're to believe anything that anybody just tells us, then we won't even have a man. And she said, bingo. Okay. She went, is that what you did? She said, hell yeah. That's why I ain't got a man now. Okay. I believe the shit, and it turned out to be true. And you better figure it out too. That is how Tisha's mama malfucking functioned, okay, and said, oh shit, I agree with Nell Fletcher. I agree with Nell Fletcher. Y'all definitely have two men that's out here cheating on you, okay? And that was it. That is it. That is it. That was the show. And the way it was going the entire time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think there was a part where Kimmy says, I don't believe Maurice cheated. And when she says that, Destiny does this. She smirks and bucks her eyes again. I don't know what's going on here, but they definitely was giving a lot of unspoken things. Wanda just came straight out and told it. And sometimes, I mean, just like Destiny was a bone carrier, Wanda was a bone carrier in this scene too. Okay, this is how you got to get these scenes rolling. Now, they've brought in a lot of newcomers whose job was to get the scene rolling. And I swear to you, every single one of them got ran off the show. Oh my God, why? It's supposed to be about business. I mean, every 5 seconds, just stay off if you can't do the job, if you can't do the damn job, period. But Wanda got it out. And even though she didn't directly attack Tisha, she might as well, because this situation had to do with Maurice and Marcel. And when she asked, was that girl playing the trombone? One in the mouth, one up the wazoo? I said, oh my God, Tisha, that's about Marcel. Oh, funny. It is their job. They're still in the show. The Scotts are still there. They're still in the show, and their business is coming out by who? They mama and they bestie. So it's going to come out no matter what. They got a job to do. They got a job to do. Say it or don't say it. The bottom line is they said, we feel nothing happened because we didn't catch it. Destiny is saying, bitch, not only did you catch it, she ain't saying it with her words, but she's making faces. Not only did you catch it, but you talked to me about it. Destiny looked like she got the inside scoop. And she already said in the scene with Martell, I think last season, she had already said, Marceau is cheating. She said that in her confessional. She said, Marceau likes to go after Martell, but Marceau is in them streets too. Destiny did point blank say it in that scene. I remember. So yes. But anyway, that's it. That is the episode, you guys. Hit the like button on the way out, please, and thank you. 609 of you came in to enjoy the cookout, and I appreciate every single one of you for doing that. Diana, why is Destiny barred from Black? What happened? Marceau happened. Marceau happened. Marceau does not like that Destiny, like any man that's out in them streets. That's why you don't want your wife or whomever to be hanging out with certain people. But Marceau had already said, I don't fucking like Destiny. He had a hard time with her anyway. And he said he didn't like her. And when Tisha came back and said to him that Destiny was implying, he said, how dare Destiny imply? Not to you. Not to you, especially when Martell, the rumors about her and Martell been in these streets heavy for a minute. And she allows Martell to make jokes about the paternity of her child. And then he said point blank to Tisha, you might want to rethink that friendship and what you tell her. Period. Okay. I remember. Thank you, Grace Sheets, for the donation to the channel. But that's it. That is all. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I appreciate y'all. Let me get my other screen up. I appreciate y'all. Come back. Make sure you have your notification bells on. I still have 2 reviews that I'll need to get through today, and I promise I'm going to do it. Hit the like button, share the video, please and thank you. Follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. I want to thank my moderators for helping out in the chat today. And until next time, bye-bye, guys.